All right, I wanted to talk about a plant called Barringtonia Edulace, or cut nut, which I grow a whole bunch of at my property that I'm at the Food Forest Orchard. And this is maybe a 2-year-old, 2, maybe 3. I stuck this in the ground as a little cakey start. Here's another one. Look at these big, beautiful, glossy leaves. They're such elegant plants. And I think they make for great decoratives, because look at these beauties. Oh, I'm going to have to go on the other side of the sun. These are a gorgeous, tight, almost palm-like plant. Ooh, let's go underneath now. There we are. And here's one of the other ones. Big Barringtonia Edulace. Gorgeous tree. But if you can see on these pods right here, the freaking rats figured them out. One rat is all you really need. Probably tell his friends. See, there's a nice group right there that will be falling like probably any time. It might even be falling on the ground right now. I'm gonna beat all this back to even see, because it's best if you can find them on the ground already falling. And I have a feeling because of those rats I'm not going to find anybody. I got some back at the house I'm going to bust into when I get back. But these make big feather boa flower racemosas. So each one of these columns, these peduncles of fruit that come out, every one of those is going to be a big fluffy cream yellow flower, and the whole thing comes out like a big feather boa. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. And then they're easy to manage. I mean, look at this guy. This guy here is 13 years old already. And yeah, it's get a little bit big, but for the most part, it's a tight tree. It's tight. It's not stealing a lot of light. There's a lot of breathing room with this guy. I got all these ice cream bean and other kind of trees around me right now. Yeah, Barringtonia Edulace. Yeah, related to the fish poison tree, but that seed's like a big heart shape. And see, here's some of the nuts. Rat got into that one. And then when rat into that one. So when they get rotted on the ground, they can look like this, but still be perfectly viable if they haven't been eaten up already, of course. And usually, if you don't have rat problems, you're going to find these seeds just scattered all over the ground. Just pick them up easy. They can even be like I said, already rotted and the skin falling off, but the seed's going to be just fine inside. So, for anybody that ever gets the opportunity to grow these guys, I highly suggest it, because they're so cool. Alright, so I kind of cheated and knocked a handful of them down. But they were already getting rat attacked. You know, little buggers. Gonna have to put some metal flashing on this thing to keep them off. But so inside of this, you know, the fruit's kind of crap. It's not something you even consider. But the seed on the inside, I cut them lengthwise to get into them. You cut them side to side. You kind of got to dig them out. So I'm going to show you that when I get back to the house. But yeah, that's a nice little pile of them right there. Nice deep purple, well formed. They do abort sometimes. If they look a little small, there's a good chance that they're aborted. Alright, so here's some of those Barringtonia Edulace seeds, and I got a couple of Tahitian chestnut too, which are very, very similar as far as like how you got to break into them, because they both have woody yet flexible, heavily fibered pods that are going to be a little bit of a challenge. So I use the old pruning saw, or not saw, but clippers, and just open that bugger up, place your seed in the middle, and then just cut them right in half. There we go. And now that can be much more easily extracted. In fact, yeah, see, just pops right out. And so that's your nut meat right there, and you discard the pod. And so I'm gonna open this up real big. And usually these Tahitian chestnuts required a couple of grabs because they're pretty big, and I go, as you can see, I'm going lengthwise with them because they're like a big saucer of a seed in there. So a little challenging, a little tricky, but there we go. Same thing. Now, you see that distinct similarity. They both have these woody seed casings, and they both have very fibrous pulp and something of kind of a fruit on the outside. Maybe there's, like, if you really were starving to death, I'm sure there's a food value in that, but yuck. And then the Tahitian chestnut, let's see if I can pop one out. These guys, you'll see it mentioned that they make a pudding from them. So you would take this nut meat and then you would grate it like you would cassava, wash the gratings, pull all the gratings out, save the water, let all the starch settle out of the water, and then use that starch cake to make your resulting pudding. But so that's the trick. I use my pruning clippers because it's just safer. If you try and get into these guys using a machete, you're going to hurt yourself. They shoot across the yard if you hit them wrong or hit you in the shin, and it's just dangerous, So use your clippers. Safest way to do it. The cut nuts, Tahitian cut nut is for your nut meal. Tahitian chestnut is for your starch, and then the nut meal afterwards makes a nice crumble if it's spiced and dried out. Anyway. All right, so like that's half of one of those cut nuts, and you can see that's maybe 4 almonds worth of nut meal, maybe even a little more. There's a lot of nut for one nut, and they do have a combined flavor and texture of somewhere between a soaked almond and hazelnut, raw hazelnut. If you could put almond and hazelnut together, it would be just like these. I'm surprised these aren't more commercially used. They're very tasty, in fact. And I think they might even make a decent nut milk. All right. Mommy says hi. Aloha.